I'll keep this real brief. I am actually against this ordinance as written. I am in favor of banning parking within 24 hours of a snow event. I think the city has regulations of some sort. I live in a cul-de-sac, not the particular cul-de-sacs that are in question here. And I have friends and family over on a regular basis, even between the months of December and April, I believe, when this ordinance will take effect. I don't want my family or friends to get a ticket on a non-snow day. So there's only so much space in the driveway, so I find this ordinance unacceptable. Now, is it a money issue? We're going to try to generate revenue with this? I'm not sure, but I'm glad Rick Monass reported the backup material, letters from residents, which were 5-3 against it. So I'm against it as well. That's it.
Thank you. Kevin? Is Kevin still here? Okay.
Was that Ryan Court?
Lived on, yeah, on Grange Court. Her.
I have to admit, it feels good to stand up. I live on 1294 Ivy Street. I want to give a little history about Ivy Street here because we've been before the council a few times before. We've been before the council in objection to a change in zoning, where one of our residents brought up the fact that when we made this change in zoning, there wasn't enough parking for the Mason homes that they put up there, the townhomes. When that went through with the city council anyway, the parking problem came up to Ivy Street. Then when we had some agreements in with the city, had to come back to the council, we restricted the parking on Ivy Street to a midnight so that residents there are permitted to park. We are parking on one side of the street. We have roughly about 6 parking spots along a straightaway, and we're going to take away the cul-de-sac now. We are in objection to this. I have a mother that's 70 years old. Oftentimes she parks out in the street because she has to get off the ground because of her back. It's hard for her to get up there. So I'm going to send her a block away to walk up to my house to visit me. We also entertain guests from our church on a regular basis. So I'm going to tell my guests during the winter, park further away. This creates a lot of problems for my guests or friends. My son often has friends over as well. We're inconvenienced. We put this problem, no problem, we agreed to that. We put the pass at night in the cars so they can stay past midnight and play games in the house. But now we're saying park further down the street. We don't have enough spaces. One of the solutions to the spaces was open up parking on both sides of the street. Reason why I gave you a history, if we open up parking on both sides of the street, we come back to the urination in the streets, we come back to litter, vandalism, because we're going to have more of those partying students coming back up into our cul-de-sac. So I want to object to this. I want to call, too, that there's other solutions. A 2-inch, I think, is a reasonable. That we say, if there's a 2-inch snowfall in the event, we move our cars. We don't park there anyway. Our cul-de-sac's always clear. So I want to make that resolution. I think that it's better that we do that and come up with a compromise. And if there's a problem with people understanding a 2-inch snowfall, what is that? We have a system, I believe, in place at the city already that notifies on flooding. Maybe we should use that for 2-inch snowfall as well. And that's all I have for comments.
Thank you. Lamont?
Hi, this is Lamont Mom. I appreciate you guys spending the extra time tonight. I'm a resident of DeKalb for the last 20 years and a City of DeKalb business owner. And I see the ordinance, it looks like it is a quick fix to some underlying problem. I'd rather be talking about the problem versus add an additional burden of parking to the residents of the City of DeKalb. This is going to be hard to enforce. It's going to be a burden on the residents and also on the City of DeKalb. I guess I'd just like to say I do object to adding additional parking restrictions. I'm sure there's other, if we're dealing with snow, and I can only assume that because of the dates that I don't have all the other pertinent information about the history of this problem. But I think we ought to be able to just use the current ordinances that we have. Again, trying to enforce this. You get the UPS guy come out, and where is he going to park his car? As soon as he gets out of his truck, he's parked. Does he get a ticket? If I take my kid to babysitter and I park in front of the house
Thank you, sir. Chuck and Mary?
Mr. Mayor, Councilman, my name is Chuck Krumbacher, and I live in the Ryan Court Cul-De-Sac. The problem that we see is that there's 9 houses in the cul-de-sac. There is parking that's prohibited already, covering 5 of those houses, which means that when you enter the cul-de-sac, you can't park in the first 5 areas in front of houses. So it's already a year-round no parking ban. So this would just cause further problems. And I agree with other things that have been said earlier. It would be hard to enforce something such as a 2-inch snowfall would make a lot more sense. So I think it would really cause some serious problems. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Alderman Baker?
Well, I was going to propose that west of Dogwood on Ivy, we do the parking